every form of consumer spending that we have in this country. And my biggest worry is for what happens to those people who lose their jobs, who cannot pay their EMIs. Will they then find themselves in depression? Will we have a different crisis of depression and mental health? That's the question we're asking, and I'm opening up the phone lines to you because we have a tremendous panel right now. And if you find yourself or you find a family member or a friend currently in this situation, pick up the phone and call us. Joining us on the show, Vineet Goenka, member of the IT Task Force, former National Co-Convener Information Technology, BJP. Krish Lakshmikant is the Managing Director of Headhunters India. They brought out that report that said 2 lakh IT engineers will lose their jobs annually over the next 3 years. Saurabh Srivastav is the former chairman of NASSCOM. Prasanjit Bose is an economist. R. Vasumati is the vice president of the Forum for IT Employees. And Dr. Swapna Patkar is a life coach and a corporate trainer. Dr. Sagar Mandara is a psychiatrist who brings in the depression angle and whether or not we should be concerned. I welcome all of you to the show. I'm going to start, obviously, asking the people who brought out the report. Krish Lakshmikant, Managing Director, Headhunters India, you released a report that says 2 lakh engineers will lose their jobs annually over the next 3 years. That's 6 lakh jobs to be lost in the next 3 years. Do you stand by those numbers?
Madam, these figures are based on a report made by McKinsey, presented to NASSCOM in February of this year. In that report, NASSCOM to RASCOM, McKinsey said 50 to 60% of India's IT workforce have to be retrained to the new skills.
Have to be trained with the new skill. Right.
The issue is, at the same time, industry captains.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Yeah. At the same time, the industry captains with whom we interact, they say that approximately 50% of the workforce can be trained. Suppose, for instance, you have 19 lakh people who have to be trained. According to these people, only 9.5 lakh can be really retrained to the new economy, new requirements for the new skills.
Krish Lakshmikant, if 6 lakh IT engineers, Krish Lakshmikant, if 6 lakh IT engineers find themselves out of jobs in the next 3 years, whose fault is that?
Madam, if you take, let us say, compare IT with manufacturing. In manufacturing, a machine has a life of, say, 15 to 20 years. The same thing is happening in IT. Here there is no machine, it is a man. So if the man changes himself, it is good for him. If he doesn't, he gets into... Yep.
So I want to go to Krish Lakshmikant. Krish Lakshmikant of Headhunters India. Have we been creating jobs as a country, Krish Lakshmikant? Have we been creating jobs as a country? Do you believe that this is a change that will take time, that we will actually get? Krish Lakshmikant, have we been creating jobs as a country? Because the data doesn't say so. The data says we've created 1%. It's a 1% increase in the jobs that we're creating.
Organizations of 10 people, 15 people, which have been creating values in this space.
Krish Lakshmikant.
Yeah, madam, two things. One, it is not true that companies are not giving training. All the companies, top companies, they have training programs. It's available online. It's up to the employee to learn.
Okay. So
most employees are given 3 months to 6 months to upgrade their skills. At the end of it, they don't do, it's a pity. Then they have to look out for a job elsewhere, number one. Number two, Mr. Goenka was saying that there has been no change in the assessment. It is not true. Take Cognizant, for instance. They have introduced something called Bucket 4, which was not there for all these years. In fact, what we are seeing now is, for the first time in 30 years, in this industry, managers, that is people who are earning 25 lakhs and above, who are typically in the age group of 35 and above, their jobs are in danger. The main reason is neither are they technologically savvy, because they have become managers, they are not technologists any longer, nor are they, most of them are not even customer facing. So they don't know what is happening in the world, technology world, or with the customer. Suppose they had domain experience, that would have been different. So what is happening is, according to me, a change, not one change, number of changes which are taking place. One, the new technologies which have come in, like SMAC. Number two, the automation which has taken place and is taking away about 10% of the jobs. These are the two important things. Third, you combine it with the dollar-rupee parity, which again affects about 5% if you take the 5 to 6%. If you take all these things, add Trump, because of whom you are going to employ more people in the US. For every engineer you employ there in the US, there are 5 people you cannot employ in India.
All right.
So 10,000 people, if Infosys is planning to hire, 50,000 people cannot be hired in India because that is a cost.
No, but my question to you, Krish Lakshmikant, is have we managed, you didn't answer my question, Krish Lakshmikant, have we managed to create the jobs?
Not tapped is the Indian market.
Well, I want to bring in Krish Lakshmikant. Krish Lakshmikant.
Every corporate, every company will have different kind of ethics, and why are we just talking about people who lose jobs?
I want to add one thing.
We also have to talk about the freshers who don't get jobs. Well, how do you explain that?
Krish Lakshmikant, go ahead.
See, madam, this issue of automation, computerization, etc., robotization is not only true for the IT industry. The World Bank study, also the Cambridge University study, it says that 60 to 65% of the jobs you and I know in India will disappear in the next 5 years. So it's a very alarming thing, and we'll have to look at what are the alternatives. One area which I find that the Modi government is looking at is infrastructure. Definitely infrastructure creates a lot of jobs for skilled and unskilled people. Second is, if you look at IT, we are only looking at the American market, the international market. Why not the domestic market? The domestic market can be very big. And not only it will be big in English, you have to have it in different languages, because today everything is in English if you look at it, or maybe maximum Devanagari. But everything, if you go to the villages in Tamil Nadu or Bengal, they don't know Hindi nor English. What is the industry doing about it? Can industry not create products? These are the kind of things which we have to look at. But to say, yes, industry is going through bad times, yes, it is a lot of forces which are hitting the industry. They are trying their best to face it. And yes, in the process, people are going to be affected. I know that. And I feel bad for these people. Many of them have taken house loans, they have bought fancy flats, they have good cars, the children are in good schools. I'm talking of the people above 35, and their EMIs alone may come to about 75 to 80,000. These people, if they lose their jobs, we can understand what happens to them. Many of them, that will lead to all sorts of social problems, right from drinking.
It is very unfortunate, and I understand what you're saying.